Yesterday we were talking about Paṇḍitā Sayadaw, calmness factor of enlightenment or enlightenment factor, and we ended our talk at this stage. And when one comes to this stage in the course of the practice of Satipatthana, as one builds up momentum, being able to cultivate Paṇḍitā, calmness or tranquility, then one will be relieved of the bondage of kilesas, undermining elements, negativities, which have been burning, which have been undermining you, tormenting you throughout the lifetimes, such as restlessness and remorse, skeptical doubt, not being able to come to any definite decision about any matter, and also to overcome social problems, social diseases such as tension, stress, and all these mental things which will cause mental distress. Not being able to calm yourself, being excited, not being able to realize peace and happiness. So now as you are able to cultivate Paṇḍitā in the practice of Satipatthana, especially as you are able to build momentum, then these undermining elements, negativities will be overcome. We will become free of this bondage of negativities which have been with you all along your lifetimes, which have been tormenting you. Now you become calm and peaceful as you are able to cultivate this wholesome mental state. At this stage of Paṇḍitā, calmness, you become levitated mentally, physically, you become very soft and malleable, mentally, physically, you become purified, proficient, and rectified. All these good qualities will come in. Being free of other negativities such as greed and hatred, and all the good things will come to you. However, when you say Paṇḍitā Sayadaw, it is not just this wholesome mental state of calmness, Paṇḍitā, that we are talking about. Not only this, but also associated states. Other mental states, wholesome mental states, which are associated with Paṇḍitā, also will arise. So today we shall go on discussing about this. At this stage, one will be able to cultivate faith and confidence. With the good experience, one will come to a decision that this is correct and this is right. And the method of practice is correct as you have come to the stage. Through your own personal experience, you come to possess trusting confidence. Especially having confidence, feeling confidence with respect to the way of mindfulness, Satipatthana. That if you are able to walk this path, you are bound to cultivate the spiritual nutriments, oja. These spiritual nutriments will arise in an extraordinary manner. Nobody is asking you to believe. You will believe it by yourself. This is the uniqueness about this cultivation of faith and confidence. And you come to, especially when you come to this stage, you come to a decision, a resolution, coming to acceptance and confirmation. Prior to this, you are not able to cultivate strong faith and confidence. Now you are able to cultivate it in its own right, as is given in the quality of Saddha, faith and confidence. Saddha Lakhana Saddha, faith and confidence. Saddha is trusting faith. In this way, especially when you are able to cultivate knowledge, such as the conditionality of mind and body, Like you will come to acceptance and confirmation. Like when in an arithmetical problem, you have two parts. One is the calculation, the working, and then finally you come to an answer. So these two parts. When you get an answer as a result of correct working, you're satisfied with the arithmetical solution. So too, with this practice, you come to full acceptance. When thus you are able to cultivate faith and confidence, your mind will become bright and clear. Like when you put clarifying substance like alum or any other chemical into a glass of water which is cloudy, the sediments will settle down, the cloudiness will settle down, resulting in the clarity of the water. So too, there is this settling of sediments so that you become clear. Such is the clarity aspect of his faith and confidence. So too, with the sada, your faith and confidence, the mind will become clear. Such is the clarity aspect of faith. And with the cultivation of the conditionality, of cause and effect of mind and body, you have trusting. You come to trust. Such is the trusting aspect of faith. And you have two things. One is clarity, and another aspect is trusting. These two things made up faith and confidence. So, you'll be free of nivaranas at that time, hindrances to progress, beginning with the sense desire hindrance. So much so that you hold yourself in high esteem. There will be self-esteem, self-esteem that you are doing right. Such is akalusya vajrapatana, manifestation of esteem. The nearest cause is sadhya vutu. The nearest cause for the cultivation of sada, faith and confidence is the faith, the worthiness of faith, or material which is worthy of faith, such is known in Pali as sadhya vutu, something which is worthy of faith. When you cultivate faith in the substance, in the material, or in an undertaking which is worthy of faith, then you'll be able to come to really faith and confidence, and then you are getting a result with the correct practice. Every time you walk this path of correct practice, you are reaching the correct result. So you become, you're walking the path through the guidance, and you're walking with discipline, not without discipline, such as Dhamma Vinaya. And by being able to practice according to Dhamma Vinaya, doctrine, discipline, you get the result that you want. So you come to acceptance and confirmation that this is extremely correct. So you come to accept it. And you have faith and confidence in the material which is worthy of faith, sadhya vutu. And in this way also, sadhya vutu in this case is the method of practice. Leave alone other things like Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and so on. Just think about this correct method of practice of Vipassana, which is worthy of faith. And this is taken as sadhya vutu. And you will have faith in this practice, this method of Satipatthana, so that the quality of sadhya vutu, the being worthy of faith, also become obvious. As I said in the Satipatthana maxim, in the saying of insight practice, that faith and confidence are bound to arise in the insight practitioner. or another way around, insight practitioner is bound to cultivate faith and confidence. So as you are able to cultivate insight knowledge, from the basics through the stages of insight, especially when you come to the stage of Udiyadhyaya Jnana, that is the fading away of the fleshing of the mind and body objects, as old is giving place to the new in fleshing manner, you are able to cultivate faith and confidence, the real faith and confidence. Such a stage is known as adhimokkha, rendered as decision or resolution. So you come to accept this working, the method of working, like arithmetic sum, and the answer you get from the arithmetical problem. So you get the calculation, the working, and the answer, so that you're very much satisfied with your practice, that it gives the required result in a very correct manner, such as having faith in the guidance given, or the method taken, and the discipline by which we walk the path. By being able to realize the result of the practice, you come to real resolution or decision known as adhimokkha. And then at this stage, nobody is asking you to believe in this practice, in this method. In the Buddha Dhamma, nobody is forcing you to believe it. You believe it by yourself. This is your experience, your faith and confidence through your experience. You yourself come to believe it. As I said, the insight practitioner is bound to cultivate faith and confidence, so that your faith and confidence will grow, will develop, increase, and become more and more steadfast. And nobody is doing it, you yourself are doing it. You yourself is cultivating this knowledge and this faith and confidence. Prior to that, you may be believing in things which are not correct. Now you have faith and confidence in things which are correct and which are worthy of faith. And your knowledge becomes clear-cut. And as I said, whoever cultivates insight, whoever cultivates faith and confidence sadha, is bound to possess a mind which is bright and active in a unique manner. Hence, especially in the practice of Satipatthana, when you come to this stage of Udiyadhyaya Jnana, this enlightenment factors are bound to realize, bound to develop by leaps and bounds, and then you come to acceptance, faith, and confidence. At this stage, one becomes a worthy human being or average human being. Not only that, one will be able to possess human mentality, and beyond that, and as one progresses, one will become above average. And this is the best quality that one can get. That is, at this stage, one will come to possess the quality of rectification, ujjhagata, in a special, unique manner. Previously, one will not wish to confess one's mistakes. Now, one will come to self-confession. Not only self-confession, but also confession. Confession to the teachers. Previously, if one make a mistake for $1 worth, one will just say, "Oh, I made only a few cents worth of mistakes." Or if one has done a few cents of mistakes, one will say, "Nothing. I have not done anything." So one is always underrate, you say that, one's mistakes previously. And if one does not possess anything, this is hypocrisy. If one does not possess anything, one may pretend to possess something. One may become hypocritical, and one may wish to glorify oneself just for nothing. At this stage, it's not so. One will come to possess this quality of self-confession. all mistakes will be confessed, not only to oneself but also to the teachers. And then one will even admit, one will also promise that such mistakes will not be committed in future. So you come to possess such quality. That is because of the result of the practice. So one becomes ratified. Once one comes to possess this quality of ratification, one will be free of conceit, one will be free of lies and crookedness. And if you are crooked, you find it very difficult in social relations because people will not believe you. Now you are straightforward, sincere. You admit your mistakes. You confess your mistakes so that people will trust you, and it will be good for your social relations. Such a quality is a very essential quality that one comes to possess as a result of the practice. When one becomes honest and sincere, one will become free of these two things, namely Maya Satya. Maya means, although one has made mistakes, one is blameworthy, one will pretend not to be blameworthy in front of other people, one will hide one's mistakes, and one will tell lies by lying. Or one will just say, instead of one is committing it, one will just say other people are committing it. So putting the blame on others. Such is a sign of dishonesty, which is very dangerous. As for another expression, satya, it means what one pretends to possess something which in fact one does not possess. For instance, although one does not possess moral conduct, moral virtue, one will just say one possesses moral virtue, one is virtuous. Although one does not possess knowledge, one will pretend to possess knowledge. Although one is not practicing or practicing intensively, one will pretend to practice and say that one is practicing, pretend to be practicing intensively. So one is just trying to cause esteem in others. That although one does not possess, one is pretending to possess it, so that other people will hold you in high esteem. So if you are free from these two things, Maya Satya, you are set to become sincere and honest, which is good for your social relations, not only among friends or groups, but also between nations in the world. If only the nations in the world possess such quality, then all the problems which are difficult to solve will be solved very easily. For this, Vipassana practice is the answer in order to solve these international problems, so that the world will be a peaceful place to live in. As one comes to cultivate this passaddhi samujjhanga, calmness, enlightenment factor, one will become free of greed and hatred. There will be non-greed, non-hatred in its own right, although one will not be able to overcome totally greed and hatred, but one will be able to be free from these extreme forms of greed and hatred. What are the extreme forms? Extreme form of self-hatred, greed and hatred. Selfishness, for instance. One is thinking about for the sake of oneself, or one's relatives or one's group, instead of thinking about others or other groups, so that one's scope of regard, consideration is very narrow. However, when one comes to this stage of the practice, one will not be able to possess, one will not possess such kind of narrow scope of selfishness, one will be able to be free of this in one's own right. Especially when one is able to cultivate knowledge to the extent of the winning the stream winner, becoming a stream winner, cultivate the first path, consciousness, then one will be able to overcome the extreme forms of greed and hatred, so that one will not have the low standard or very extreme form of greed and hatred. For instance, although when it comes to hatred, anger, although one may be angry, one may be affected because of some undesirable thing, but one will not have grudge at this stage. One will not have ill will because of this short-term anger. So that because of one has come to this stage of the practice, which is very useful in social problems. Social problems will be solved very easily, because although unavoidably, incidentally, by accident, there may be some anger involved, anger which is experienced, but there will be no ill will or grudge against that person or that body, so that social problems will not be great, not be serious. So when it comes to the stage of the practice, these mental powers will come in, which are very useful in society. Because one has overcome the selfishness, extreme form of greed, one will be doing for the welfare of others, wishing for others' prosperity, then this loving kindness, metta, will arise automatically. Once you are able to cultivate this loving kindness, metta, you will be able to possess wholesome mental states such as patience, willing to forgive, forgiveness, and sympathetic feeling. All these things will enter one's stream of consciousness. Although at times there may be some mental disturbances due to short-term anger, there is no grudge or ill will, which is very desirable. Because of the absence of extreme form of greed, one will become very peaceful and happy. Because of the sympathetic feeling, one will be able to become free of this feeling of grudge or ill will, which is also very desirable. And this expression, Paṇḍitā Sayadaw, Sukham Viriti, when one comes to this stage of calmness or tranquility, there's going to be joy and well-being. Such kind of joy excels the sensual pleasures manifold. When one experiences the joy of Dhamma, as is given, Sukhino Saitam Samadhiyati, when one becomes happy, mind becomes joy and happy, then one will be able to concentrate easily. That means the mind will fall calm and collected on object of attention, without any distraction, without any restlessness, without any scattering. So that your power of concentration will become very strong. It becomes consolidated and condensed in one place, in the place where the mind has noted. So that not only this concentration, which is one mental state, but also its associated states will also be condensed on the object of attention. Just like when people are assembled in one place, so too samadhi, concentration, and its associated mental states will become condensed or consolidated or assembled in one place without any dispersion, distraction, or scattering. So this non-scattering, the condensation is the calm and collectedness is a function, and its condensation becomes manifested in one's own mind. And all the root cause lies in passaddhi, calmness by body and mind. So that the sukhi, joy, is the proximate cause for concentration. At this stage, the scope of awareness also will become very sharp and effective as a result of the power of concentration. As one is able to activate mindfulness on the object of attention, the mind falls calm and collected on the object of attention. In the beginning, the noting mind may be just skimming over the surface of the object, but as one continues to activate mindfulness, now the mind falls very easily calm and collected, penetrating on the object to be noted in a very clear-cut manner and a sharp and effective manner. As much as concentration is sharp and effective, so too will be the knowledge that the scope of awareness will become sharp and effective because of the result of concentration. So, as much as concentration is strong, the knowledge, the awareness will be sharp and effective. As much as the knowledge is sharp and effective, the wholesome mental states, the factors of enlightenment, such as faith and confidence and all, will become very effective. Later, this other sambojjhanga, the enlightenment factor called upekkha sambojjhanga, equanimity factor, enlightenment factor, also will arise, continuous as a continuation. Now, upekkha means balanced or equipoised, but there are many kinds of upekkha, equanimity. Here it is taken as tatra, major tatra, as one of the wholesome mental states. Tatra means this or that objects, here and there, objects which are here and there. And major tatra means the middle or the middle portion, medium or middle, and tatra means keeping, balancing. So it means balancing the mind in between, so as not to become not to go to extreme, not to become biased, not to be partial. Instead, it is balanced, striking the medium, so that there will be no sluggishness, slackness in the practice, lack of virya, energy, not wishing to exert one's energy, nor will there be any lack of concentration, the mind being restless and distracted and not falling on the object of attention. So in between, one will be able to strike the medium in between, namely overcoming these two extremes of lack of energy or lack of concentration. Instead, the mind will become balanced, which is very desirable, such as given by this wholesome mental state or beautiful mental state known as tatra, major tatra, which in essence, which is the rendering of upekkha, such as the practice of upekkha sambojjhanga, the enlightenment factor of equanimity. Once you are able to be free of these impurities, your mind will become pure and beautiful. That means you are adorned with beautiful mental states which overcome ugliness, so that as much as your mind becomes beautiful, your materialities, your body also will become beautiful, thus overcoming the diseases which we shall discuss in the following days.